Hello and welcome everyone to my my well, not really playthrough, to my video on the Far Cry 3 map maker. Now I'm going to be making a map, and what I want to do is on this map is I want to basically have it's going to be single player, because I believe if you put in AI and stuff like that and wildlife, it disables multiplayer. Like it won't let it be played multiplayer. You can only have one person on the map. So unfortunately, this will be a one-player map. If in future they update it and make it so you can have more than one player, because I mean it'd be nice to just be able to invite a friend onto this, because it'd be nice to have this two-player. But anyway, the plan is have a map split in half. Basically, one side is man and one side is nature. So you'd have these two paths, and you'd have mountains, and you'd have trees for the nature side, and you'd have a lot of foliage and all that. And there'd be wild animals and things, and you've got to get through, and you'd have a bow on that side because it's kind of a little bit more. It's not natural, obviously, but it's a bit closer than a gun. So that side will have a bow and whatever else I can put on that side, and the other side will have buildings, vehicles, camps, and enemy mercenaries. So that's the plan. That's the plan. The problem is, I guess, one of the problems is that the map isn't the map size. This is the biggest I can get. And it isn't exactly huge if you think about all I want to add in. So I am doing it diagonally, which gives me the longest, stretch of land. But still, it might not work out in the end. You never know. But post your ideas in the comments, because I would love to hear some ideas, things to put in this map. And I'll do my best to remember everyone that gives me ideas, and I'll credit them in the video description and whatever else and wherever else I upload this to. So yeah, I have already started it. I started it a while ago. This is the start bit. So basically the plan here is, because you've got to kind of have a way of how you, I think you've got to have a way of how you got here in the first place, and why you can't get back out. So the reason you can't get back out is because you're surrounded by mountains. Well, if you're surrounded by mountains, how did you get there in the first place? Well, the answer is you crashed on a hang glider. So you crashed there, then I've put the spawn point here where this blue guy is, because then when you spawn, you slide down this hill as if you've just crashed and slid down there, and now you can't get back up. So you've got to do this. Now, one way to block off the edges of the map would be to just put mountains around the edge, but that's going to look really samey. It's just going to be like in a weird sort of arena if I put mountains all around it. So I'm not entirely sure. I'd love some ideas on how I could do the blocking off the edges of the map. I'd love some ideas on that. Some of the edges on the man-made side I'm going to do, I could put buildings there, like a few buildings down the side, so you can't walk past them. And then each side I could have hills. I just honestly don't know what else to put. So I'd love to hear some ideas on that. So thanks anyway. So yeah, I've textured this bit. Obviously I didn't want it all to be one texture, so I've sort of put a rocky ground to go with the sort of mossy, rocky mountains, and then they're sort of starting to dry off as you go out to the outside of it. So that's that plan. Now I'm not actually sure how I'm going to start this now, so I'm just going to start chucking stuff down. I think for now I'll just ignore the edges of the map. I'll just build part way into the space for whatever I want to put at the edge of the map. Right, I can't spend too much of my space building like a path either. Sort of a path that leads to a sign or something where it splits off. I've got to keep as much of the map as I can. So what I might do is just have it so you've slid down here, you've got this little open area, and immediately you've got to choose a direction. Immediately, I think that's what I might do. So let's see. Objects. Let's have a look in the objects. What shall we put in? I really don't know. Bridges, cages, accessories. Well, that's air conditioning, airport wagon, alarm horn, backpack. Let's see. Have they got scenery? Gameplay, thematics. This is what I want. I don't know if there's any natural kind of ones. There's temple. Now maybe we could use the temple to block off the nature side. I know temples are still man-made, but the temples in this, they're quite covered in moss, covered in nature type stuff. It's kind of blends in with nature. It's quite good. I don't know what to put here. Let's have a look at utilities. Anything good there? There's roads, signs, tents. See, I've got loads of stuff that I can use for the man-made side, but when it comes to nature, it's a little harder to think. Ah, nature. There we go. Trees, plants, vegetation, rocks, waterfalls. So there's not a massive choice. Well, what I need is a way to split off the two sides. I was thinking just go simple and build a fence right down the middle, right down to the other corner. And that's how you split the two off. But I think I need a bit more than that. Actually, I think I'll have to go with mountains just to stop going either side. Let's see what we've got in rocks, shall we? And let's object preview mode. Can't see any of the rocks. It should bring up a preview. Hold on. Alright, okay, we've got to choose coral, caverns, jungle, grassland. Let's go with jungle. Ah, here we go. Ah, there we go. Ah, these will be perfect. Oh, yes. I'm going to use some of these ones, I think. Right. So, it might look a bit cheesy having these right down the middle. Like, you know, very typical cheesy sort of thing. Let's just look at object preview mode again, because that one's maybe a bit too big. These are huge. Okay, let's check out this one. That'll do, I guess. We'll put it here. We'll rotate it. We'll rotate that later. Damn it, I wanted to add multiple objects. Paste from clipboard. No, not clipboard, sorry, object preview mode. Let's get the same one again. It was this one, wasn't it? Now, we don't want to use the same one too many times, but if we just sort of chuck it in like that, you won't be able to tell too much. And what I'll do is I'll retexture these as well, if I can. If it lets me. I'm not sure if it'll let me put textures on objects, as it were, or, you know, pre-made sort of blocks. I've also got to make sure that I line it up with the corner over there. So let's do that. I have actually made maps before. I made one for Battle for Middle-earth 2, if you check that out, it's on Filefront still. I made 2 maps for that actually. And I used to play on one of the old Far Cry's, I think it's Far Cry 2. I messed around with the map maker. I didn't actually make any proper maps on that, but I messed around with the map maker a bit on that and had a bit of fun there. So that was good. There was something else I made maps for as well, but I can't remember what it was. But I do quite enjoy making maps. The Battle for Middle-earth 2 map maker is very nice, very good. The only problem I have with this map maker is that its placing water isn't very good. On Battle for Middle-earth 2, you could place the sort of direction, whichever direction you wanted a river to go, and then you'd set the water height, and then if you wanted to say a river, you could just dig a trench, and then set the water level so that it would go and fill half of that trench, but wouldn't go over the land. Whereas on this, it's a little bit more awkward because you have a grid, and you can only place the water in a grid. So if I give you an example, why not? Give you an example like that. See, I can't place my own blocks of water wherever I want. I can raise the whole sea level, like for the entire map. But say I want to just make my own a little pool somewhere, and then I want to make another pool over here at a different level. Obviously, the sea level I can only raise it all at once, so I need 2 different water sources. Okay, so I have to place a block here and a block here. What if I only wanted a tiny little pool in the corner of this block, and then a slight little river leading to a larger one, or something like that? You know what I mean? You can't. It's a little bit awkward. Or if I wanted, I don't know. It's just a bit of a pain. I don't like it much. I think they could have just been a bit more free with that. But it's not too bad. You just have to play with the land a little bit when you're making. It just means in that square I can't have 2 pools at different heights. I have to have a pool at the same height in the square. 2 pools at the same height if I want 2 pools. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now because I'm not actually going to shut up, and I'm going to get on with making this this split through the middle. Post ideas. I mean, I can always delete these rocks or whatever if someone comes up with a better idea for me. Where are the big rocks go? Very large cliff moss. Right, we're going to have one of those, definitely. One of those, like, here. We're going to rotate these after, anyway. We'll have another one a bit further down, and another one a bit further down. What's this one like? Ooh, we'll have one of those, they're nice. We'll rotate these after, just so we can... I'll have one here as well. We'll have this right at the corner over there. Now, if anyone's wondering about controls about this, I'll just give a quick run through of the basic camera movement controls. It's right shift if you want to move the camera faster like that. If you want to move it faster. If you press the middle mouse button, if you hold right click, you can move around the camera on a sort of axis. If you hold the middle mouse button in and move your mouse up, you go straight up or straight down. It's not too difficult. It took me a while to actually get used to the pressing the middle mouse button. To go up and down, I kind of started looking up like that and then just walking forward and then looking back down again, and it was a bit of a pain, so I just started to use the other way. So I'll have that there. Let's see what else can we do. I've used that one on one of those. Oh, no, I'm going to use that in the nature bit. I'll have to try and remember to use that. No, me though, I won't remember, but okay, whatever. Right, let's just have one of those there. Be here all day if I don't hurry up, just placing rocks. Let's see what other rocks we can use. Grassland. Oh, the same rocks, just different texture. It's a bit disappointing. We've got caverns. Cave wall. Maybe we'll try making some out of those. Coastal. Coastal medium. Coastal very large cliff. They're just the same, look, they're just the same. So you might as well stick with the jungle texture to save it looking a bit weird. Very large, oh, come on. Alright, I'm just going to use some of the same ones because you'll be here all day just faffing about otherwise. Alright, we'll just straighten out this bit, so we'll use the rotate tool. We'll rotate some of these. And this one. And the thing is, I want to make sure that I don't give too much space to one side and not much to the other. Got to be a bit careful how I... We'll fill in all the gaps with different rocks. I think that'll probably make things look a bit more interesting. See how that looks there. Yeah, it's good. It's good. So it doesn't look too bad, does it really? It's going to look very kind of... I kind of wanted it to just look like it was accidentally split in two halves, but I think it's going to look very deliberate, so never mind. Right, let's place some more blocks here. So what else can we use? Jungle cliff, very large. Yeah, whatever. Probably should place in a couple more of those spiky ones, but I don't know. Use the rotate tool. Basically, you have this is a bit awkward as well. You have these three axes to turn it on, but I think some map makers make it where you can turn it whichever way you want by just clicking on it, and sometimes that's really annoying to get things straightened out. Or whatever. Right, I don't want these too straight. I want them to be a bit wonky. Try and turn them around a bit as well. I want these to be wonky so that it doesn't look too deliberate. And what I can always do is, what I'll do is I'll use sort of smaller rocks and just build the side down a little bit so it's not just straight like that. It's kind of like, it'll look like it's sort of propped up by smaller rocks. That should help a bit. That's what I'll do. I mean, when I made my map on the Battle for Middle-earth 2, I had to really think about textures, things you wouldn't really notice if you were just playing the game normally. But if they weren't there, something would feel wrong with the map. For instance, I built one of my maps. Was kind of an elven-based map, so there was a lot of trees, there was a nice big river, there was a big mountain in the middle. And yeah, I built this river through the whole, kind of went through the middle of the whole map and around the mountain and everything. And when it came to textures, what I did was, I had areas with flowers, like just a texture, very simple texture with flowers on. So I had those around the sort of tree areas and in some of the open areas. And then near the river, I put a slightly darker shade of grass on, because then it'd look like the grass had soaked up a bit more of the water. It was more moist there because it was right next to the riverbed, or river even, sorry. So that's what I did with that, and it's just little things like that that really help your map look a lot more. It just looks a lot more diverse. It looks a lot more real. Looks a lot more alive, sort of thing. I mean, when you're playing the map, you wouldn't notice. You wouldn't really think about it, would you? But just little things like that I added in really made my map. Well, it made me feel like my map looked a lot better with them in. So I've got to think about little things like that for this as well. Which is what I did on the rocks over in that corner over there. I put the different textures there and tried to make it look a bit more exciting. And I'll do this floor after. I've just gone with a really plain floor because I can use this as sort of a standard texture, and then I can just paint over it as I go, and then eventually it'll start to look a lot better. Cool, I'll have another one of those there. Why not? And we can put some rocks on top of it or something. Post your ideas. I'm still going to upload this in sort of 20-minute parts, so if you want to tell me to maybe fast forward parts, have bits of it fast forwarded, so you don't have to sit here and watch me place rocks for half an hour. Just let me know in the comments anyway. I'm definitely looking for feedback on this, and it'd be good to have other ideas out there. Get some more. Why are these so small? Let's get some more big rocks in there. I just need to finish this right. Let's just plunk these rocks down. Rotate around there. Right. So, see, I haven't really done much in this in what I've recorded so far, which is why I'm thinking maybe I should fast forward it. Might be best to. Or what I could actually do is what I could do is just cut bits out. So all this, I'll upload I'll put up what I've done so far, so you can hear all my ideas that I've said. But what I'll do in future is if I spend ages doing something like this, something really dull like this, I'll just fast forward. Sorry, not fast forward. I'll cut it out. I'll just cut it out and show you the end product. Or I'll just cut a good chunk of it out and then just start the recording again when I get back to doing something different or interesting again. So I'm going to leave it now. I'm going to leave it here. I'm just going to move this rock in a bit, and then I'm going to leave it here, and we'll carry on with this next time. Well, actually, what I'll do is I'll finish this, and then I'll start recording when it's finished again. Alright guys, well thanks for watching anyway, and bye for now.